Hey, it's Mike from 424recording.com, and in today's video, we're asking the question, as a musician, do you have to play live shows? Recently, I was talking with Jay the Wizard about live shows, and because he's been playing with me in my band Be Cool Cowboy, and there's been a few shows where we've had a really great time, and we've been wanting to play out a little bit more, but I don't know, with different things that we're doing, and his working schedule, and my schedule with the channel, it can be hard to really find the time or find the reason to go and play, because we're both pretty seasoned guys. He's got another band, I've got some other electronic stuff I'm working on for fun, and I guess it really comes down to what is your goal with wanting to play live. For me, I realized that for a long time it was because I just wanted to travel and do other things, and so I was always trying to make like a tour or do stuff, play a lot of shows, and I had played a lot of shows when I was younger and toured in bands when I was younger, and I always just wanted to get back to that road. There was always something so fun about hitting the road with your friends and doing stuff. Not all live shows are created equally, as you probably have come across in your own day-to-day as a musician. And lately I've just been battling the idea of, do I even need to play live shows anymore? Like, what are my reasons for wanting to play? Is my reason for wanting to play genuine? Because I always used to say and beat myself up and said, should I go play a live show? I really should play live shows. I really should play. The word should is just an insanely dangerous and word that I think you should try to scrap from your vocabulary. It doesn't get you anywhere by saying you should or shouldn't do something. The real question is, do you want to do that thing or do you not want to do that thing? I think the answer for me is I don't really want to play live shows. I want to play them once in a while if the terms make sense for me to do so. Overall, I don't really want to play them. I don't really want to hang out in bars anymore. I don't drink, so that's not something that really appeals to me. And so many shows are, you get paid with drink tickets, or I don't really want to play live shows that much anymore, unless it's something that's going to be super fun for me to do, or something super different, or playing something more super new, It's one of those things, I don't know. I don't know if you really have to play live shows anymore. So many bands seem to break based on streaming or singles that they put up. There's countless stories of famous musicians that had never played a show before, getting a record deal, like Black Keys come to mind. I just recently watched the documentary on them, and look at those dudes now. They're probably one of the biggest bands of this generation. So I just think it's interesting. I mean, you need to play a certain amount of live shows. I'm not saying you shouldn't play live shows as a young musician. There's a certain amount of stuff that you need to do. If you're just starting out, you need to get your chops up. You need to get comfortable in front of crowds. You need to learn how to talk to an audience and work a mic. Mic check. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't ever play live shows. What I'm saying is, do you have to play them? What are your goals as a musician? I mean, for me, my goals are just to make and create something awesome, do something that I want to do each day. And if playing shows doesn't line up into that mantra, doesn't line up into my philosophy, then I'm probably not going to play them. But I think an important question to ask yourself is, if this is a question you've battled with yourself, is, do you really want to play them or not? And if you do want to play them, what are the criteria that make sense for you to do so? As someone who's had a full-time job for a long time, it never made sense for me to stay out late all hours of the night playing shows in people's basements, or having shows switched around where you're supposed to be opening but then closing, or you get to a venue and the lineup has completely changed as according to what was determined, or what's I don't know. It's a very me-centric world too, and it's like when I'm asked to play a show and there's like an 8-band bill, or even 4 bands, if it's bands I don't know or friends of mine that I don't know, it's like, I don't even want to listen to 4 albums that I like in a row sometimes. Like, what makes you think I'm going to want to listen to 4 bands I don't know who are just going to be wanting to borrow my gear? And like Jay was saying, so many people don't have respect for borrowing people's gear anymore. It's like, if you're going to borrow somebody's gear, you better be helping them set it up, breaking it down, loading it in and out, not just 10 seconds before you're about to play, hey, I'm going to play your drum kit, and there's no argument or question as to whether that's going to happen. I guess just the culture surrounding live shows and music has really been off-putting to me recently, and maybe it's just that I'm getting older, but I just see it for what it is, and there's a lot of people that are just me-centric and very selfish, and don't have any interest in building a scene. They just want to go and self-congratulate and make something seem like a bigger deal than it is, or I don't know, fulfill some hole in their soul because their daddy or mommy didn't hug them enough. Just figure out what it is that's really behind that urge. If it's just for a fun and a love of doing it, then awesome. play as many live shows as you want. I guess I'm just a little burnt out, a little jaded, and I would love to hear what you guys think about playing live shows. Is this something that, you know, you'd like to do? Is it something that you've kind of gotten jaded or burned out about? Is it something that you recommend for everybody? There's a lot of different angles to it, and I hope I can cover some more of them. Now, I gotta say, I love playing shows with friends and friends' bands, and, you know, Jay and I have 2 bands, and we have another couple friends' bands in the area, and to book a show with just our bands, and it's like, we're gonna go play at a place, like, that's fun as shit, you know? But at the same time, we could just as easily go to Bohemisphere and do that, you know? So it's kind of like, I don't wanna say what's the point, you know? I don't wanna be a complete nihilist, or don't care about it, but, you know, what's the point of doing that, you know? What's the point? It's like, if you wanna just hang out with your friends or hang out at somebody's house and do that, that's awesome. But, you know, I hate to be so negative, but I hope this video doesn't come off as being negative. I think playing live is all about separating the good from the bad. There are always good shows, there are always bad shows, and you can never really tell what those are gonna be sometimes until you're there at the place, loading in or setting up. Sometimes the shows you think are gonna be bad wind up being the best ones you've ever played in your life. And sometimes the ones you think are gonna be good are just a yawn fest. I came across a blog at one point called Ari's Take, and on there, this guy Ari was a touring musician or a full-time musician, and he had a set of rules. Shout out to Ari. A set of rules that I think I'm gonna attempt to paraphrase. I think it was like a 15-15-15 rule, and it was 3 categories, which I think is this like a new place for you, a new market, if that's, you know, something you're thinking about, or like, you know, is this a new town for you to play in and potentially gain more fans? Will it be fun, and will you get paid? You know, all 3 things that I think make sense to consider as a musician, and then rating those 3 things on that scale, and then figuring out a point total that makes sense for you. So I think, you know, if it's below 30 or 33 or something out of the total 45, then that's not something it would make sense to play, because it doesn't sound like it would be fun to you. It probably doesn't pay anything, and it's not a new place for you to play. So, because once you hit a certain level of notoriety in your area, you tend to get a lot of people hitting you up to play, or tend to get a lot of show offers, or you know, people asking you to play their house, or asking you to play a bar for a benefit or something. So you gotta kind of figure out, you gotta learn to say no to the stuff that doesn't make any sense, because otherwise you'll just hate everything, because you won't be doing things that you want to do or playing shows that you want to play. Maybe you're not getting paid at all, so that's a 0 on the scale, but maybe it's going to be super fun, and it's going to be a great new fun place to play. So maybe it's not 33 points total, maybe it's like 25 or something. So, you know, then you would say, oh, well, you know, we're not going to get paid, but I guess you could look at it as 2 out of 3. Is it a new place? Is it fun? Will you get paid? And then just go by that, you know. If it's new and fun, but you won't get paid, sounds like something you should do. Maybe it's just going to be a lot of fun and you just really want to do it. Maybe it's not something new. Maybe it's something locally that you really want to do, playing at a record store or something, you know? Oh, that sounds really fun. It's not a new market, it's not a new town, and we're not getting paid, but hey, this is going to be a lot of fun. So, I mean, there's never hard and fast rules for everything. There's exceptions to everything, but, you know, in terms of live shows, I think that Ari's take on that blog, that made a lot of sense to me, and I want to thank Ari for putting that out there. We talked about playing live when you're just starting out, something you kind of have to do if you want to be in a band that plays live. If not, then just hang out, record in your room, and have some friends over once in a while and record. That's fun too. That's what we do up at the cabin every year. We try to do, and it's just fun, and that's it, you know. Playing live for generating interest, I think, is a mixed bag. It really depends, again, on the market. And I don't mean market in terms of, like, you know, just in terms of money. I just mean who is in your area that is going to really enjoy what you're doing. If you're in some industrial hip hop band but all the people in your area are into country music and, you know, pop music, then they're probably not going to come to your show. But if you're in like a hip area or a city that it has a scene for that, then that's probably a good place to play live and generate interest. But there's certain shows that they're just going to be a waste of time to play, I think, if you're not going to be generating any interest, if it's not new, if it's not fun, and if you're not getting paid. I mean, there comes a point in time where you got to really assess your time and what you want to get out of it, because your time is finite and you can't be doing everything and especially things that you don't want to do. You got to learn to say no to the shows that don't matter. And I know there's going to be people who disagree in the comments that you should play every show that you can get and do this and do that. And like, if that's what works for you, awesome. But this is the stuff that I've learned that doesn't work for me, or hasn't worked for me in the past. And it's that quote, you know, the definition of insanity is banging banging your head against the wall and expecting a different result each time. So that's just my 2 cents. Well, I hope that this video gives you some ideas about playing live, maybe some angles you didn't consider. If there's angles I didn't consider, please let me know in the comments below. It's just something I've been grappling with lately, you know, whether I should play, whether Jay and I should hit the road, play some shows. And if they're fun, I mean, you know, if it's all about just having fun, it just depends what your goals are, you know. If your goals are to be the best band in the world, then yeah, you should be playing all the shows that you can play. But if your goals are hang out with some friends and have fun once in a while, then, you know, the cabin works for me. This is Mike from 424recording.com. Godspeed, my friend. Do you like playing live? Do you play live? Do you not play live? Let us know in the comments, and make sure if you are playing live that it's something that you want to do. And if it's not, just say no. Peace.